Hello viewers, you are welcome to TVN Business. I am Chinwe osisiogu. Today on the program we have a very special guest, but we shall be going on a quick break, and when we return, you'll get to meet my guest. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying tuned. Before we went on a break, I told you I had a guest. He is the Continental Chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization for Africa, a global organization for all expatriates. He's also a practicing medical doctor and represents the brilliance of Nigerians in their chosen fields across the globe. He is no other person than Dr. Obinna Kingsman. Sir, you're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. So our first question for you today is that can you please tell us about the organization Nigerian in Diaspora Organization Africa?
Okay, thank you. The Nigerians in Diaspora Organization for Africa, Nigerian in Diaspora Organization worldwide, is an organization created by the federal government of Nigeria for the purpose of Nigerians living abroad, as the name implies, the diaspora. And the organization is all about Nigerians and their organizations, because we have a lot of organizations. There are Nigerians in the medical practice, there are student union, there are traders, the market traders, and there are other entrepreneurs, there are bankers. There are cultural organizations as well, like the Ohaneze Ndibo. There is Ojudua, there is Ariwa Group. So when we bring all the organizations and associations together, we have a global organization leadership that is called NIDO, that is Nigerian in Diaspora Organization. In fact, that is structure the federal government gives it, because it's for us to avoid, for example, if you come to a country like Cote d'Ivoire, for example, we have up to 5 to 6 million Nigerians there, and Ghana as well. So you may have many organizations that you will not know how do you represent the interests of the government and people of Nigeria. So, but when we streamline these things to a central body, Nigerian in Diaspora Organization, that means every other organizations and associations will go on under the body to project their views, so that when federal government comes, it becomes a one-stop shop for them to know the situation of Nigerians in that country, and then we'll be able to bring a reasonable report or a one report that represents every other views of Nigerians in that country. So when we leave the country level, that we normally call the chapters, then we come to the continent level. And in the constitution that the government created NIDO for, it was structured in the chapter level, that is to say, in Africa, all the countries in Africa have the chapter of NIDO, and at the same time, the whole chapter will come together to elect one continental chairman, which is going to be the continental chairman for the country for a period of 3 years, and then he may be re-elected for another second last tenure for the service.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. The second question is, your organization deals with Nigerian expatriates in the globe. Can you tell us the number of Nigerian expatriates abroad?
Good. The expatriates, in terms of the statistic, we may not have the statistics now, but we are working towards that. Because remember, the Nigerian government have started promising the diaspora voting, and this have pushed the Nigerian government to giving mandates to NIMC, the National Identification Management Commission, the power to collaborate with the embassies to start collecting data. And other agencies that government are given this opportunity to collect data, so that from there we'll be able to know these are the expatriates, these are non-expatriates. But what we have today is still partitioned mainly in 3 to 4 groups. We have the expatriates, we have the entrepreneurs, we have the professionals, and we have the non-professionals. So all of us makes up the NIDO, the Nigerian Diaspora Organizations. So but for the expatriates, I may like to make more points clear here that it's also on continental basis, because I can say that the number of Nigerian doctors in UK is not the same number of Nigerian doctors in Africa. Like in Africa, where I come from, we are few. Engineers, we are few. But when we come for traders or entrepreneurs, we are bigger than Nigerian entrepreneurs in America. So for the statistic, I think within a year, with the commission being in place now, we will have the statistic at hand.
Thank you. Thank you. And again, is there a synergy being built between the Nigerian government and Nigerians in diaspora via NIDO?
Yes, there have been a lot of synergy because the government created it itself since 98 or before that. That was in the US. Before it's now become a global affair. Because the government have inspired from what was going on in India and in China, that the government there developed their countries by harnessing the resources of their citizens and the diaspora. That is what made Nigerian government to queue into the process. So for the synergy there is, because I remember it is gazetted that Nigerian government will host the diasporans once in a year, every 25th of every July. The whole diasporans comes to Abuja here to liaise with the government and various aspects of their business, and that is when we do interactions and affairs. And also, the NIDO have worked with the federal government to see the creation of the Nigeria and Diaspora Commission, which I use this opportunity to thank the federal government, because it's like a promise realized that we are going to have a commission, and here we have the commission, and with the appointment of the chairman of the commission and the secretary, and the boards that are going to come from the continent, because the act stated that NIDO will give 2 persons from each continent to serve as the board member in the commission. So it's from there now we'll be now building policies and projects that is going to build the synergy, uplift the synergy that have already started. Yes.
We'll take another break. The program continues shortly. You are still watching TV and Business, and I'm with the Continental Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Organization NIDO for Africa, Dr. Kingsman Chikelu. And sir, our next question for today is, what are the prospects of having brilliant professionals like you come home to invest and work?
Good. There is a lot of things to do, especially we are doing already, because when you see a comfortable man in his profession, abroad or outside Nigeria and trying to convince him to come home, it's not just a mere talk. You need to assure him of a lot of things. So starting by telling him, first of all, the love you have for his country, that one is natural. But sometimes the package goes, because every salary is all about the package in it. And then when you come home, you think of security as well. And you see, there is this phenomenon that he who goes out goes to bring something. Right. So it's sometimes when you come home, you are expected to spend and keep spending. So Nigeria, the government have to come in that side and protect. Because I remember, for example, myself, I built a hospital in Enugu State, because I come from Enugu. So since I specialize in surgery, I was like, let me do something surgery, especially trauma surgery. I built this hospital in Enugu, and it was commissioned last April by the governor of the state, and the hospital is functioning now. So there are a lot of experts, fellow surgeons, and some other people like in optometry, who want to do optical things in the hospital, and other aspects of medicine. But whenever they indicate to come, there is these hindrances. The Ministry of this would like to have this, you know, the Doctors Association of Nigeria. So we still need to work synergy in many areas so that people will feel free. Thank God there is a desk for the Diaspora Corporation in Health at the Ministry of Health, headed by a professor. I think a doctor, I think he's a doctor, he's a lady doctor. So with such, we are going to be able to facilitate those professionals coming home, not only in medicine, in other areas like engineering. I remember my colleague Continental Chairman NIDO Asia, Professor Ijogu, just concluded his bio-fertilizer plant that is already on production now. They are doing mosquito nets, producing locally. And at the same time, they are working on the solar system. Europe is also working on the same solar system. American continent is doing more on ICT, this technology training.
Okay.
They are doing it, I think they have a center in Kuje. So actually, we are doing our best to bring in those resources or the brain drain to be a brain gain. We are doing something on that on daily basis. And I believe with this commission that is going to start now, we are going to go in a higher speed, Because the truth is still that the wisdom we acquire outside is like a double wisdom, because we are all wise when we left here. Going outside is like the wisdom becomes double. So it's all about bringing it home, and those at home should give us a soft landing, so that we'll be able to be happy coming home.
Yeah.
Because it's not everybody in diaspora that will be happy to come home because of all these stories that are not true. But the way the media carries the story, oh, they will kidnap you, they will do this, we still need to go and tell them that, yes, this kidnapping thing is just a scanty thing, and it can happen anywhere in the world. It's not only in Nigeria. There's no place like home, so that they will be comfortable coming home.
And what do you expect from the Nigerian government?
Well, just like I said before, what I expected from the government is to be steadfast the way they are doing it already in the creation of this commission. Because in this commission, we, the diasporas, especially the way they have given us these slots to be in the board, will be able to draft the policy. Because, like for example, I reside in Congo. I know the four corners of Congo. I remember last Friday in a meeting with Mr. President, I told him how we are doing it over there. Mr. President was like, wow, in that country I was there in 60s. It's not an easy place. So he remembered the history of the country during that time. So because it was in a banquet dinner he organized for the diasporans at the villa last Friday. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that we know the countries where we stay, we know the difficulties, and we know how to overcome it. And we know with our being present how we are going to carry the government along. To say, okay, take for example what is happening in South Africa now, this xenophobia issue. If the government will give the diasporans the tools, we will be able to solve the xenophobia issue ourselves, because we are the people involved. But if a policy is being drafted here without including the diasporans, that policy will go nowhere. The diasporans must be inside. Take for example, if Nigerians are being attacked in Southern Africa, we know how it started. It may be from our attitude, but somebody in Nigeria, we may not tell him the truth. He may be thinking they are attacking my brothers. But it is only when you bring us into the system, you say, oh boy, what's going on? We will not tell you, see, we spend money on girls here, and our brothers are jealous about that. And this is how this thing started. And there was fighting in one club, and this fighting escalated, and the next thing, xenophobia entered. So we'll be able to give you the hint. You know that this is how it's happened. But if you just take it, a policy, making something, you sit in Nigeria and say, oh, we want to tackle this thing, it will not work. So diasporans must be on the forefront to solving problems of the diasporans. That is to say, the federal government will still give us more responsibility to play in this diaspora commission that is on now.
It got to us that NIDO has recently been accredited as one of 2019 election observer by INEC. Would that be all for NIDO, or will you still aspire for diaspora voting by Nigerians outside the country?
Yes, the major thing is that voting. And I have to use this opportunity to tell politicians not to worry whether NIDO voting will be against or in favor of them. No, it doesn't change anything. The only thing is just a fundamental right of a Nigerian citizen to vote. That is what the diasporans are asking for. So now is a step forward. This foreign observation status they have given to NIDO is a step forward. Yes, we are here for it, and we are going to do it well, transparently, and we are going to say what we see and the way we see it. So we are not going to we are never, even the creation of NIDO have never been for political issue. It's not a political organization. So we are outside politics. And at the same time, we are insisting on this diaspora voting. In fact, it's shameful to hear that countries like Rwanda are voting on the diaspora. Little country that we cannot say is because of resources that Nigerians are not voting in the diaspora. People in little countries, Senegal, they are doing these things. Why not us? Even Congo Brazzaville, why not us voting in the diaspora? See, I'm telling you, in Nigeria today, the number of Nigerians outside is almost half of Nigerians at home. And we deny them voting. And those at home are making decisions, forgetting that it's just like the cake belongs to all of us. And one sections are doing the decision on this cake, and other ones are deprived the right to participate in deciding. It's injustice on its own. And two, as I said, we are not coming to do partisan politics here, because every diaspora have a job doing. The issue is that let us be involved, because when we are involved, our votes will make any candidate to work harder, because we are including more brains. Like if you know that these guys in America, they like more foreign collaboration with American policies, a candidate for presidency will work hard to increase his thinking towards that aspect. We in the African, especially in the Eastern Africa, Central African area, where mining is happening in Africa, like in Angola, like in Congo, like in Southern Africa, you see, we will be able to agitate on policies that will make the Nigerian government invest in mining in Africa as a continent. So any candidate coming when I say, the diasporans will like somebody who will give them a policy that the federal government have on investing in mining in the continent, because they have discovered a treasury somewhere. And when we invest there, it's all about bringing money home. So, but if we are not involved in that policy of decision making here, all these things will be dormant. That is why Nigerians sometimes, I'm sorry to say, like a sleeping giant, because the diasporans are not being carried along, because they are the people who know what's happening there. So once we are in the system, we will be able to lead the government very well. Like MTN is investing here, and they are among the leaders. I'm sorry to mention the name of the company in the media, but what I'm trying to say is that other countries are investing here, like such big investment. But can we count the investment our country is doing in another country? It may not be. Even on land and infrastructures. I tell you that as a continental chairman of NIDO Africa, sometimes you come to a country, you will see that the federal government is still renting houses to harbor foreign staffs. Because they have never developed a policy that's, okay, let's build an estate. Let's buy a land, build an estate. Then we can even rent it out, make more money on rent, and still harbor our staffs there. They count the amount of money they use in renting these things. They can just buy an empty land and start the building. So once the diaspora start voting, we will now be bringing the mind of our leaders in those areas. Those in engineering, those in architecture in the diaspora, we say, government, no, don't worry. I will do the leading, I will provide the land, and I will help you do the construction. You just do the financing. The building belongs to the government. And another thing I want to use this opportunity to say is that NIDO is highly professional, that it's like a Supreme Court. There is no fear of corruption in NIDO. Because as I said, what will make a NIDO man to mislead government, I've never seen that. Because it's just, all these professionals sometimes, even if you call for a meeting, you must give them a tangible agenda you are calling for that meeting. Because it's not a meeting like people will say, okay, let's go, like village meeting, let's go, we'll drink, we'll eat. If you come to NIDO meeting, you will not see something like drinking or eating. It's all about policy. What are we here to discuss? So it's for the federal government to wake up now and harness this opportunity that is given by allowing the diasporans to vote. So it's a step forward we are observing today, but tomorrow we want to participate. And we are at the same time calling on the agencies for this identification of statistics to work faster and know the number of Nigerians in diaspora so that the data will not be a problem again, or because we don't know their number. This is the time. Let them start working on the number. We are ready to assist them so that we have our data. By next election, I think it's 20 what? 20, the next election, 20,
4 years' time.
4 years' time will be like, we are in 2019, 2020, 21, 2023. So by then, if we have that opportunity to vote, that will be wonderful. And then we'll start seeing the benefit.
Okay, our last question is that we learned that NIDO Worldwide is planning a homecoming program later this year. Do you mind sharing it with us?
Yes, we are coming, we call it D-Day. Normally, we are going to be here, something July. Okay. And then normally we have started the planning. We always have the collaborations of the NNVS that is championing it, National Nigerian Volunteer Service, something like that. So the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the House Committee on Diaspora, and the Senate Committee on the Diaspora. So when they come together with NIDO, we are building that's worldwide homecoming. And the plan is on, and that is the opportunity we always have. We visit our loyal fathers, we visit businesses, we visit students, we visit IDP camps, we give gifts, and those in different professions have to go and render voluntary services. And those who want to partner with agencies, we develop the memorandum of understanding at that period, because we do invite people, banks, enterprises to come, and then we exchange ideas. So it's real. It's going to be on 25th of July.
Okay. All right, that's the much we have for you today on TVN Business. Thank you very much, sir, for doing justice to the questions, and thank you so much for coming by. I am chinwe, osisiogu. Thanks for watching.